Well, it's 10:30 in the morning. It's sort of mixed weather, blue sky and clouds, and I'm back to do some more black and white photography. If you've watched the last couple of videos, you know I'm trying to improve my black and white fine art style photography. One of the challenges I've been facing is being in the wrong landscape. And I think when we all walk into a beautiful scene, the temptation is always to take that grand vista, because that's what we're kind of bombarded with. You know, every landscape photographer's feed has these amazing grand vista photos. And it's one of the things that's been making it difficult for me. So today, taking a completely different approach, I'm going to look for smaller, intimate details. And I'll explain why a little bit later on. So I've come to Arnside, and if you watch some of my previous videos, you'll have seen that before. I've come to a beach because I think that's going to give me lots of opportunities. There's lots of textures here. There's, because the sun's kind of breaking in and out of the clouds, there's lots of light and shadow. So a lot of tonal contrast as well. And, you know, stuff that's a lot of interest. And I'm really, to try and help myself, I've just brought one lens, a 90mm f2.8 Sony lens, to force me to work with one focal length, and quite a long focal length. So I'm less tempted to do those wide angle shots. I'm just going to focus in on some intimate details, and let's go and see what we can find. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is literally just walk around, not get my camera out, just admire the scene and look for opportunities. Now I can see here there's some really interesting interplay between light and shadow, and the ripples and the sand. So let's just go and check that out. Yeah, maybe there's something interesting there. So I'll carry on walking, just look for all the different scenes and try and visualize something that would work. But while I'm walking about looking for interesting scenes, I'd really like your feedback. I've done 2 videos so far in this series. One of them was a straight out in the field shot, and I talked through what I was thinking about. The second one, I did a review of the photos I took. So I shared the photos and I went through what worked and what didn't work. And I did that in the second video. What I'd really like to know is, do you like that style of me breaking it into 2 parts? Or would you prefer it as one, perhaps longer video where I show you what I've done in the field, and then I show you the photos I took and we analyze them all in the same video? So let me know in the comments what you think you like the best. I'm just talk you through the first couple of shots I've been taking. So what attracted me to this is the patterns in the sand. The light is just catching them. I've set my camera so the creative look is black and white, so I can see whether there's contrast there already. Because the sun is shining straight on to some of the ridges, I think it's going to blow my highlights. So I've done a bracketed shot, 2 steps over, 2 steps under. I'll blend the 3 of them if the highlights appear to be blown. The other thing I've noticed, I'm not sure how well it'll show up on this camera, but I'll try and show you. On each of the little mounds, there's lots of little ridges in them. So I've done another little close-up shot of that as well, because thanks Obi for walking right through the frame. Because I think that might make an interesting shot as well. I walked right past this earlier, but there's a chain hanging in the sand. Assume it goes out to probably the buoy that's behind me, but it's just catching the light, and I think that makes for an interesting shot. This goes to show how slowing down, taking your time, opportunities just present themselves to you. So if any of you are having fun trying out black and white photography, I've just released a new ebook called The Art of Intentional Black and White Photography. Not specifically about landscapes, but it does give a lot of good tips on what to look for when you're composing in black and white. So I'll leave a link to that in the description. I'm in such a big, beautiful setting. I found it quite a struggle actually not to take a picture of that big vista behind me. And I've noticed really that everything that's caught my eye today has been about texture or light and shade. And I think that's probably a good thing. It's focused me in on one simple subject. It simplified my scene, forced me to concentrate on looking for little details, intimate things that have appealed to me. So I'm going to find somewhere I can sit down, just share a few thoughts with you about what I've learned and how I'm progressing with my black and white photography. And then we'll go back to the studio and I'll edit these photos and see if we've caught anything worth keeping. But just before I head back, I thought I'd just tell you how I've been teaching myself and the resources I've found in the hope that it might help you guys as well. First thing I've been doing, I've been reading a book by Guy Tal, which is called Be Extraordinary. And it's kind of a mixture of philosophy and photography. It's really kind of opened my eyes to thinking about what makes my photography different from anybody else's, and it's because I took it. So it's about bringing your own personality into it. That's what's going to make it unique. So it's opened my eyes to that. The other thing I found was on the Nature Photography Collective, there was a really good series of lectures that are, I think it's called something like Inspiration for Black and White Photography or something like that. Huibo, who does a couple of the talks on that, which is how I stumbled across it. As those of you who've been watching regularly know, she's my current black and white fine art favourite. But there's also a great lecture by Sarah Marino as well, who does some really high contrast black and white stuff, as well as colour if you're into colour as well. But it's been really helpful for me to try and develop my eye a little bit. And that's what I've been trying to do, is ignore the grand vista and make it more intimate, because bringing your own personality into it is what makes it more artistic. And I'm not going to get into definitions of what's fine art and what's creativity and all that sort of stuff. But to me, I've got to do something that is different from everybody else. It's got to become mine. And I think the best way to do that is ignore the grand vistas and take some personal details, things that I've spotted that appeal to me. The other thing is getting your mind in the right place. I mean, I think a lot of us try and take a photo, and we take a colour photo, and it doesn't really work. So we think, well, I'll try it in black and white to try and rescue it. And that's entirely the wrong way to go about it. You've got to go out there with the mindset of what is going to work in black and white. How do I compose this for a black and white photo? So that you've got that at the forefront, that black and white is the issue, not colour. A couple of things that I think these came from Sarah Marino was, one is to be open to opportunities instead of accepting limitations, and that really struck me as well. One of the real great things I'm enjoying about black and white photography, let's face it, it's, what is it, 11:15 in the morning, so the middle of the day when most landscape photographers would say, actually, I'm going for lunch, let's forget it, the light's all wrong. You can come out here and take some great black and white shots. So it's very freeing. It doesn't matter what the weather is too much. You know, if it's overcast, you can get one type of shot. Today I've had a mixture of light, so it's been, actually, I really love the light today because it's created those mixtures of shadow and light. So fantastic. Doesn't really matter what the weather's doing. The other thing I've done is listen to my own intuition. I've just literally focused in on one kind of shot today, you know, texture and details of light and shadow. And that's what was calling to me. And I did think about taking pictures of bigger vistas, but I only brought that longer focal length lens with me. And that's really helped, because it meant I couldn't do that. I was forced to do what my heart was telling me to do. That's been a big bonus as well. It's been quite freeing as well, because just focusing on that one thing has meant I've been happy capturing those details. So, got to head back now and see what we've got. those are three of what I thought were the best photos I took at the beach there. I certainly feel like I've moved forward from my previous week where I was taking the wider scenes. The smaller, intimate scenes definitely resonated with me more, and I feel like I've had more success. One of the things I have noticed is that part of the scene has been out of focus, and I didn't really think about that much when I was taking the shot. I did use a kind of medium aperture, I think f8, but I think it would have really enhanced the photos if everything was super sharp from front to back in them. Anyway, that's a lesson learned. So I hope you're having fun with whatever angle you're taking with your photography, whatever discovery path you're on. Now, don't forget to let me know whether you like this style of video where I include the photos I've taken at the end in a gallery, or you prefer me to review them separately in a different video. And don't forget, you can download my free ebook on black and white photography. There's a link in the description. That's it from me, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.